Hey there, this video is for sales managers who want to improve either the overall performance of their sales team or the performance of individual contributors. I want to share with you a very specific tactic that you can use that will improve overall sales performance. And the reason I'm creating this video is because I was just reading this article from a gentleman called Brandon Vaughan here on LinkedIn. I'll put a link to the article in the comments below should you want to read it. But there was just a couple of interesting points that he makes in this article. And I don't know Brandon or endorse what he does, but I'll leave that to you. But he made some really interesting comments that I wanted to kind of share. And two key points in particular. So one is down here where he talks about if you have a racehorse in your stable, then all the other horses run faster. And I really like that as a metaphor for running a sales team, because if you do have a high-performing sales individual or individuals, then yeah, that does kind of raise the standard a little bit and therefore the motivation within your sales team. So that's a good thing to have, and that's what Brandon's primarily talking about here. The problem is, though, for those that aren't high performers, how do they know what that high performer is doing? So they can be motivated by seeing the results that individual's getting, but it doesn't mean they know how to do it. And that's the challenge. And that brings me to point one in this article. If I can find it, there we go. When he talks about kind of the management and saying it's not easy to manage a team of sales individuals as a sales manager. But the point he talks about here is the key often is to hold your sales team accountable to a proven system and a proven set of activities and principles. And this is the point I want to make. I think this is this is the key to success, because this is one of the things that often I have to fix with a lot of my clients. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Brian Conway. I work with sales organizations to improve their sales performance. I've worked with some of the biggest tech companies all over the world, like Google and Adobe and Microsoft, etc. But also work small to medium-sized enterprises as well. And one of the things I find with the smaller business in particular is they'll have a team of salespeople, but each of those sales individuals are often just doing it their way, doing their own thing. Some get there, some don't. The key often is to model what do your sales high performers actually do. Look at their behaviors, their activities, and model those best practices and make those the proven systems and activities for your sales team. Now, there's a number of benefits of doing this. I call this your revenue roadmap. Create a revenue roadmap. That's the roadmap, the plan that takes a prospect or a lead to a paying client. And the key is to identify what are the stages, the steps in a typical sales process. Now, I know it will vary, that's why I say typical, and it will vary per product or service that you sell potentially. But most products that customers sell, my customers now, I mean people like you sell, is that there is usually a fairly systematic and common set of activities. You go from a lead maybe to a discovery call, from a discovery call to a demo or an audit or something. There are these kind of identifiable stages. And if you can identify that, as I said, I call that the revenue roadmap, then there's two key benefits. One, you can teach it, so you can show now your underperformance what your race horses are doing, metaphorically speaking, and therefore they can model the behaviors, not just be motivated and inspired by the fact that there is somebody doing better than them. They can actually model it, and therefore they know what to do and how to do it. The other thing is, you obviously have the ability now to manage each of those stages in the process, because you can now measure where the conversion is, from a lead to a discovery call. What's the conversion rate? What's the conversion rate from a discovery call to a demo? Whatever, as I said, the next step in the process is. And if you can measure it, then you can manage it and you can optimize it and you can identify what are the skill sets perhaps that are missing and help your individuals improve their sales performance. So it's just about having some quantifiable data and a measurable process, and that honestly can be transformative to your teams and individuals' ability to hit target, exceed target. Now, most teams typically have the classic 80-20. There's a couple of highs, or depending on the size of the sales team. But if let's say you had 10 people in your sales team, there'll be a couple that are, do their number quite easily and probably exceed that number, and quite often carry the rest of the team. Maybe hit the number for the sales manager, and therefore the manager kind of goes, okay, well, we hit our number, so I don't have to worry about the problem with the other 80%. But imagine you can just bring another one or two of those underperformers to be quota crushers as well. Well, that can double, triple your sales overall sales performance. So just something to think about. I'll put a link, as I said, to this post in the comments below, and therefore you can have a read of it yourself. And it looks like Brandon can help you with recruitment as well of high performers, so that might be something to check out. But as I said, I don't know him, so I'm not officially endorsing his work, but it sounds interesting. If you have any questions, please put comments. If you want me to talk about anything else, please feel free to ask, and I'll be happy to create some content for you. And if you are a sales manager and would be interested in a free webinar that we're running shortly to help you with coaching a sales and managing a sales team, then I'll also put a link to that in the in the blurb below this video as well. And you're more than welcome to join us on that free web class at the end of November. So there you go. I hope you found that useful. It's got you thinking about how you might manage your team more effectively, and one thing I know you can do that will help improve overall sales performance. I'm Brian Conway. Thanks for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.